Managing partner of Airline Weekly, Seth Kaplan, is with us. Seth, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Very confusing, conflicting information, changing every day. It flew an extra 4 hours, diverted, transponder. What do you make of all of this from a technical perspective, a professional perspective?
Yeah, you're right. So little precedent for something this mysterious. Almost amazing to think a few years ago we were saying Air France Flight 447 was a mystery. And there we knew. It was flying in bad weather. It was sending distress signals. Here, nothing like that to go on. So first, we have to say, well, did the plane go down right away or not? It seems increasingly like it did not, like it continued flying. Well, then, could something like that be an accident? Well, we had that Payne Stewart crash, the golfer who tragically died after the plane lost cabin pressure, and you had these people flying on a Learjet unconscious for 4 hours before the plane crashed in a field. So yes, it's possible for a plane to fly that long uncontrolled. Here, a little bit different though, because we do have these signs that perhaps somebody turned off a transponder, the ACARS, the aircraft communication system, going off as well. Now, could there have been some root mechanical cause that caused both of those things as well as whatever else happened? Yes, but certainly a lot of evidence that perhaps something else happened. So then what was that? Well, ironically, another event that comes to mind happened literally 6 days after the Payne Stewart crash way back in 1999, and that was Egypt Air 990, the flight out of JFK where one of the pilots seemingly locked the other pilot out of the cockpit and crashed the plane. So that's one possibility. Another sort of the more routine, certainly piracy, hijacking, and we heard those reports that perhaps the cockpit entry procedures at Malaysia Airlines, and in particular with one of these pilots, weren't up to international standards. As reports
what do you make of the sharp changes in altitude? What are we to make of that?
Yeah, that too certainly, would indicate in a difference also with the Payne Stewart flight, where this plane kind of kept climbing. Here you have what seems to be perhaps somebody controlling the aircraft. If anything, you'd have to say more evidence of that than not. But again, I mean, we are all, to be perfectly clear, educated guessing at this point because it is so inconsistent with almost anything else. So we're really grasping for precedent. When I give you those incidents, we're saying, well, could it be this? And that's all we're doing.
I understand, but if it's on automatic pilot, it's going to fly straight to its destination. If a transponder, usually, this is not a plane known for its mechanical failure. Its track record is impeccable. And then it gets off course. Then the changes in altitude. That's not going to happen on a flight that is on automatic pilot, is it?
Right, but we're triangulating just to get to those conclusions. We don't really know here what happened. We have these really
I'm putting pieces of a puzzle together, but again, if it's on automatic pilot, you're not going to see this dolphin motion on an airplane or sharp changes in the altitude. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely, Sean, and the problem is that we don't yet know that. Again, all we're dealing with is a plane that was not trying to communicate. Again, that's the important thing. Not the transponder's not on. It's not saying, here I am. I'm Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. I'm at this altitude and whatnot. So we're dealing with just trying to pick up from military radar, from these other indications, what might have been happening. We just don't know.
The New York Times is reporting the changes in altitude, not me. I'm just trying to put this together for our audience here. So, all right, thanks so much for being with us.